Podcast de El Comercio de Colorado. Información que abre perspectivas.
Misleading. Yes. Because in 2018 we were one of the lower fentanyl states in the US. So we started from a lower base, but the increases are alarming.
Yes.
And the scary thought is, if the increases keep at this level, what this means is if you are using drugs, you are increasingly potentially at risk of overdosing. And that's a message we're working hard to get out, because I don't know that a lot of people realize the deadly nature of this threat. For people who are using cocaine, 4 grams of pure cocaine would get somebody high, and we didn't see a lot, relatively speaking, of cocaine overdoses. Fentanyl is so potent that it is far easier to overdose using fentanyl. It makes it a much more dangerous drug. It is different than cocaine. Here's the change. We have been restricting prescription pills, so fewer prescription pills are now out there available for sale on the street. 5-10 years ago, there were many more prescription pills that were being pushed out there. In fact, over the last decade, I think about 44% fewer prescription pills are out there, because we're telling pharmacies and doctors to stop pushing these opioids like they're candy. Second, we failed to provide treatment for those struggling with their addiction. The addicts are still out there and they're not getting treated. We have about 16% of the treatment in Colorado for people asking for treatment today. So, fewer pills, there's still a lot of addicts who aren't getting well. That left a vacuum. Initially, heroin was filling that vacuum. Increasingly, fentanyl, a synthetic opioid that's more potent, is now filling that vacuum. The only way out of this hole is more and better awareness and more treatment and as much, harm reduction like naloxone, so that when people are overdosing, we can help save their lives. Yes. Colorado is close to the Mexican border, where a lot of these fentanyl sort of shipments are coming. But if you talk to people in Ohio, or if you talk to people in Georgia, they're going to tell you their overdose death numbers tell a similar story. And it's really been over the last 5 years. Just like you said, 4 years ago, we talked about the opioid crisis. I wasn't talking about fentanyl. Now, most opioid deaths are from fentanyl. And that was not true 4 years ago. The law is meant to be comprehensive. Those who are selling dangerous drugs, and in many cases the drug is labeled as a Xanax pill. It might look like a Xanax pill, but it's actually fentanyl, and the person who takes it will die. Someone who pushes those pills and it results in someone's death deserves a serious sentence. The law being pushed raises the sentences for those distributing dangerous drugs. We're working to try to make sure we change the level of possession. Right now, you may have heard, up to 4 grams of a substance that could be either pure fentanyl or containing fentanyl is still a misdemeanor, but that could be a lot of pills. And the goal is, if we think the amount could be pills that is being held by someone selling drugs, it really should be a felony. When it comes to the user, if all you're doing is using drugs yourself, we don't want to criminalize you. We want to provide treatment for you. We also have to save lives of those using by having naloxone, which is a life-saving drug for people overdosing, as available as possible so that we can save lives. We have to make sure we have a lot more drug treatment than we do. And we took on these pharmaceutical companies, and we're bringing $400 back to Colorado to build more drug treatment recovery so that people can get well and not be at risk of dying. We're going to have to work with people. And the short message is, you're playing Russian roulette. You're putting a loaded weapon to your head, and you're risking your life. Anyone who takes any pill that they don't get from a doctor could be ending their life. The people who want to get high need to be so careful, and if they think that they are immortal or immune, they're wrong. And when I hear from parents who talk about their kids who may have made one mistake and losing their lives, it's heart-wrenching.
Podcast de El Comercio de Colorado. Información que abre perspectivas.